Hosted by REDITT TALES. Giving up after 10 years feels like letting her down. So many people on this sub seem so much stronger than me. My wife, 28, and I, 28, were high school sweethearts. It still feels like this is just a story about us. We have 2 kids, 4M and 5F. We have been together for 11 years and married 5. We dated in high school for over a year before we moved in together. We had fantasized about it together as kids do, and we didn't know what we were getting into. I would move heaven and earth for this girl. She was everything I ever wanted. It was real love, and I didn't know what to do with it. In the first few months of our relationship, 16 years old, she cheated with one of her friends. We were in a fight. Even at that age I knew how young and dumb we were. It struck me as a childish mistake. We reconciled. I should have just left, but I don't blame myself for not knowing better. We had dreams together that we couldn't afford when we left high school, tried to go to college but couldn't work full shifts and classes full-time, so we failed. We got to keep the debt. We never had enough money, but it never seemed to bother us. We could still save up a few $100s for a couple weekend trips a year. She was dishonest about everything, her not wanting to tell me the smallest thing because she was insecure about how others viewed her led to many a long night running the worst through my mind just to find out she didn't want me to know she smoked weed alone. There were thousands of instances like this, together for 3,700 days, and not a day went by that I didn't know she was hiding something. It was always revealed to be something stupid. When we were 18, she had an emotional affair with a co-worker. I caught her, told her to end it, and we reconciled. Again, in my head, we are just dumb kids. The cheating stopped when my hypervigilance began. Still, there was constant deceit that made it impossible to trust her, but I stayed. We are growing. I know I have been changing, she must be too. Between then and turning 22, life was mundane. We paid the bills, tried to save, took some trips, enjoyed each other's company, but even in this stage communication was breaking down. I had no idea how traumatized I was by her past mistakes. I lost interest in keeping tabs on her. I don't know what happened in this period, but she did seem to be more invested in the relationship than before. It may have been the best time we had together, but I can't remember it because of the constant fear I was in. We had our kids back to back at 22 and 23 years old. I told her it wasn't a good idea. I already felt so tired. We were too young. I don't know shit about kids. She couldn't bring herself to not keep it. I love this woman. I'm not going to try to talk her into an abortion, and she would never forgive me. My daughter was born and she was incredible. Rinse and repeat the next year with my amazing son. She impressed the hell out of me. She worked the whole time, never seemed to even struggle. I found it hard to help her because she was so good at it. I fell in love with her all over again those years. She was awesome. Our kids slept between us for the next 4 years. Intimacy was impossible. We found time to have sex fairly regularly, but it became planned, not the same. We were always mom and dad. The people we were had slowly started to fade out of memory, but the fear never did. We discussed moving the kids, but her postpartum was difficult and I didn't want to cause her pain. When my son was 3, I finally got them into their own room. By that time it was too late. We went through the motions, but I couldn't get her to connect with me like we used to. Eventually I gave up too. Communication has been at an all-time low these last 2 years, most of the time not even fighting, sharing generalities about our lives, talking about the kids, laughing together was the best part of these times. Even that started to fade. Since January she has been distancing herself even more. I noticed, but I was suffering an extreme mental toll and couldn't save us this time. I would come out from bed after having nightmares and panic attacks related to a work accident, begging her to come to bed. This lasted for a month before I gave up and suffered alone. I cried myself to sleep most of those nights. January was when she started the emotional affair that she would allow to consume her and bring us down. When she told me 3 months ago she wanted to leave, I was planning to talk about recommitting. I had admitted to her all my insecurities and failings, admitted how I didn't trust her for so long and that caused me to become cold. I showed her time and time again that things could be amazing. We were so dumb for so long. Look how easy it can be. At this point she was already sleeping with him. I told her when she left, just tell me when you start something new. It will hurt, but it beats sitting here hoping. She promised she would, but she had already been involved with someone else for months. I had to deal with her living in my home during this time, leaving our house to see him, but it wasn't my business anymore. Eventually I got sick of the obvious deceit plastered on her face and I did something I haven't done in 8 years. I looked through everything she owns. She listened to me begging her to come to bed. She stayed in the living room so she could text her 21-year-old manager all night while I contemplated suicide alone. She knew. I know I wasn't perfect. I know I gave into the fear and trauma. I know. It changed me into a bad partner, but I also know that wasn't me. I know it was brought on by her actions and failure to make up for them, but I still can't shake the feeling that I let her down. Maybe we both let each other down, but I don't think I deserved this. Now let's see top comments. 3 RD Duke of Stags comments. It's all on her. It really is. You aren't letting anyone down. You're accepting reality and giving up hope that the past could have ever been different. That's very honest and brave of you. And it is what it is. This woman is just going to have to learn hard lessons. In the end, it sounds like you have given it your all. And that is really admirable, and all society could ask for. Sometimes you have to let go of the person falling. I'm sorry. O.P replies, you made me cry. I had no idea how badly I needed to hear that. Even coming from an online stranger, it hit so hard. Thanks so much. Edited. You're welcome. And it can be great to cry sometimes. Always feel the emotions. Especially the hard ones. I used to literally swallow my feelings and developed thyroid issues. LOL. So the only way out is through. Like dying, this heartbreak is something that has to be passed through, and passed through alone. Just breath in, and let go. Never be afraid to reach out for help, but definitely realize that this is nothing but a huge hurdle to overcome. And only you by yourself can jump over, even if it's scary. Acknowledging that the relationship has met its end is the first step to life you always wanted and maybe thought you had. I've been telling myself the same thing. But really, you are doing the best that you can in this situation. And every day will get easier. Eventually you will be able to take away huge pieces of knowledge and life experience from this and appreciate it for what it is. No matter what your decision is. Take this entire thing as an opportunity to find happiness, rediscover who you are, and practice your virtues, patience, grace, humbleness. But don't let her actions dim you. Wildfire Shineko comments, I was once married to a wonderful man like yourself and I was a lot like your wife. Same ages as well. She does have some hard lessons to learn, still learning now, and I truly believe in karma. You absolutely gave this marriage your all and you can hold your head high knowing that you did so. I'm sure it's been mentioned here, but therapy and counseling after an emotional trauma can do wonders for your sense of peace. Yuli_7 comments, you don't deserve anything that she threw at you. She just didn't care. Change her behavior. I think that you should separate yourself from her. DNA tests your kids and talk to an attorney. She doesn't seem to truly love you. You deserve better. To get better, even if that's not another spouse. You need to love yourself. If you continue to subject yourself to her, then you will continue into a depression. Live for yourself, love yourself. Only you can do that. Eventually your kids will see it too. They learn that way. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the notification bell as well.